What's going on, y'all? It's Ray White, giving you a behind the scenes look of what's happening in the office. Trying to build this organizational development company, building strategy centered around that. Content creation, just all the things that's going on behind the scenes in the office, in the lab. But one of the things that I came on today, wanted to share a bit about is roadblocks, mind blocks, things that just don't have the ability to think through a process in a system. Let me explain as I get comfortable in my chair. So right now I'm working on a 3-part leadership series with a local organization, talking about the ways that we as leaders, especially those who are not in a formal leadership, can shift their perspective to be better leaders, and especially in positions where they don't have a title. So for example, shifting a perspective from a position to a perspective from reactive to proactive, and a position of exclusive to inclusive. And so I got the first and the third down. There's a 3-part series. First and third is down. But the middle part I've been struggling with. I've been working so many different angles on how to talk about the behavior of a leader, and the importance, like if you Google what are the top behaviors of a leader, you'll get 12 different types of list, right? Like so many people got things, and I may be that number. Like I may have my list of 5, but I'm trying to really hard to not let it be, if you do these 5 things, your behavior leader is better than the other leaders. I don't want it to be in that way, but I do want it to have some sort of a critical lens to it, to say, as you are approaching a situation, a concept, a perspective, a challenge, what have you, how do you critically think through the type of behavior, the type of actions, the type of response you want to have for effective success? And here are some effective practices, but I want you to think about what would be effective in this situation, in this scenario, to be deemed as a leader, right? But neither here nor there. The roadblock piece is what I'm struggling with, because I had different angles and concepts that I wanted to share with it, but I realized that I've been trying to work through those concepts just internally, like literally me not saying a word, sitting in his office, playing some music, and just thinking about what it is that I'm trying to say for this workshop. Now, some of it may come in the form of a sticky note, like I write it down or I jot it on a notepad or whatever. Like I got a gang of notepads over here. However, today I switched it up just a little bit, and I want to talk a little bit about that today. There are about 3 different things that would be beneficial to help work through a roadblock that you may be having, especially those who are in the speaking space or just trying to get a concept out. This has worked for me. I hope it works for you. The first one is you set a deadline. I overthink a lot. I overthink a lot of things. And if I set a deadline to accomplish a goal or a task, I would work a little bit faster. I saw a tweet saying something that Elon Musk said, that if it takes 30 days to clean the house, you take your full 30 days, but take you 3 hours, you'll do it 3 hours. So think about the time length that you're giving yourself in trying to accomplish a task, and see if you can shorten it to expedite, or just to not overthink it, but whatever thought that you have, you put it on paper and you structure in that way, right? So put yourself on a deadline is one of them. The second one is getting connected to a community or somebody who can give you feedback and work over some thoughts. Luckily, with this particular project, I am working with the client and meeting with them every other week to kind of walk through some concepts and things like that. So it's been really awesome to get their feedback on if I'm hitting the mark, or where can I tweak, or just getting somebody just to bounce ideas off of. And I've really enjoyed that. But sometimes we may not have somebody who we be able to give feedback to, or there may be some things that you're just not comfortable or ready to give feedback with. I want to challenge you all and see if you can find one person that you can get connected with that can give you that feedback, so that you're not on your own and you can have an outside perspective giving you the content that you need to help flesh out the ideas that you have. But then the third thing The third thing that was very beneficial outside of setting a deadline and getting some feedback from other people is literally saying what I'm thinking out loud, like dead serious. I was pacing my room today and rather than just writing things down, I literally just pasted the room and said, here in the concept, like, this is what I want the leaders to go to. This is how I want them to feel. This is what concept I want to convey. Here are the points that I've pulled from to help bring that thought process. This is, and then if something good comes out of that, just ramble, really, I write it down and say, all right, I like that line. Let me write that down. And I come back to it. And those three things have been really beneficial. And it's been about a couple hours since the time of this recording, since I've done 2 of the 3. I'm getting ready to do a feedback session with a group later this week. But 2 of the 3, I've been feeling pretty good to say, okay, I've set myself a deadline to have this completed by tomorrow. I've spoken this out loud and jotted down at least the outline of how I want it to go. I feel like 75% of the way confident that I can at least have the feedback conversation to help me get to at least 99% of the way or, 90, because we'll never be 100% ready. And it's been pretty good. So all that to say, if you are in a position where you're trying to think through a concept, you're trying to think through a thought, getting in some sort of a roadblock, a creative block, and something that's unable to push you forward, get yourself a deadline to kind of just get the overthinking out the way and put something on paper. Share that with somebody from a feedback perspective, so that way you can have somebody you can bounce ideas off of, and then literally verbalize, or if you're an artist, write something, draw something, whatever, but literally get your idea onto paper in some capacity and verbalize it out loud, so that way you can hear what it sounds like or see what it looks like, and can help jog more ideas or help make the idea even more concise. All right. Oh, hey, one last thing, because I realized as I replayed that, I listened to it, I'm like, there's one other key component. So technically there are 4 things that have been beneficial. 1, you set a deadline. 2, you get feedback. 3, you verbalize, or you have something in paper and writing to look at. And 4, you give yourself some time. Now, it's key, because if you take some time away, if you step back for a second, new perspectives will arrive. I've been stepping in and out of this work for the past 3 weeks now. And every time I step in and out, I find new insights, I find new perspective, I find new concepts that have been really beneficial for me to say, oh, I like that. Let's put that here. Or, ooh, now that I see that again, that doesn't fit, take that out. Time and giving yourself space can be good to let things breathe and let things sit. So as I review that, I want to reiterate: deadline, feedback, something, some sort of social proof or something documented, I guess is a better way to put it, verbalized and just out loud, and time. Deadline, feedback, documented, time. Do those types of things and be able to help overcome some of those creative roadblocks that you have as you move forward in that. So there we go. Make sure I get that in there. I appreciate your tuning into this. If you have any thoughts, ideas when it comes to just the process of building something, for me, it's creating a strategy centered on people and culture and building a organizational development strategy for organizations. For you, it may be building logos, designs, or things of that nature. I'm interested in hearing the creative process, so please share your thoughts on that. And also, if you do have some thoughts, kinds, conversations, ideas on the leadership side of things, let me know. Holla at me. Drop your stuff in the chat. I would love to talk to you about it. But be sure to look out on this channel, also on other channels too, for some new content that's coming centered on some of this leadership development stuff that I've been working towards, because I'm gonna put it out in a little bit more concise way. That's not just so behind the scenes and me rambling on mic. All right. Thanks so much for listening. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.